This week in our Sunday Chats, we are going to talk about timber, and in particular timber furniture. Things like this. Why do we love timber? What to look for? And how to identify some timbers. I'm going to be having my friend Nick come along, and he is a furniture restorer. He knows a lot more than I do, so we're going to hear from him. What I do know is that this drawer that is over 70 years old is solid timber. The sides are solid timber and the base is solid timber. Look at that, flat, no bowing. Why don't you take out a drawer at home and have a look at it? What are the sides made of? What is the base made of? Assuming the front is timber, which it probably might not be either, because there is so much laminate furniture out these days and so many composite timbers being used. That's why I like the old things. Let's have a look. So Nick, if there's one thing, if people are looking to buy timber furniture, what is one thing you would say to them?
Oh, you can't go past solid furniture. Solid timber furniture will last you forever. If you treat it right, it'll last you forever.
And your house, what have you got?
I've got a combination of everything from red cedar to silky oak to walnut veneer.
And do you have a favourite?
Or red cedar. It's got to be my favourite. Classic red cedar.
Red cedar at that dining table.
Yes.
Yes, I'll get to see it one day.
But the chair is palm, the seat.
So what are you doing there with your finger, moist finger, looking at the colour?
trying to tell what the colour is underneath.
Okay.
So I think Robin's right. So see here, you've got a pine base that on the top has been stained to look like cedar. You've got cedar legs,
Yep.
and then your bracket joints here aren't made out of pine either. They're some sort of teak or some sort of, rainforest timber, soft rainforest timber.
Yep. But the style is colonial.
It's trying to be a Regency chair, which they've sort of accomplished with the legs and the base, but by the time they get to the top, they've sort of given up.
So it's definitely a reproduction.
Yeah, reproduction, trying to be a colonial or red cedar chair.
Yeah.
They haven't done a bad job of staining and colour matching the base, but it really should have been more square. They wouldn't have beveled the edges like that in the corners. If it was supposed to be a balloon back chair, it's just the shape of that top is wrong.
Mm-hmm. Should be longer.
Yeah, and wider at the top.
Wider and deeper.
Yeah.
And even the seat should be bigger.
Yeah, there would have been more. There would have been a more overhang on the sides here. It looks like it's been cut down. Thicker, so that it's after 1900
So what is that? The European labour?
only, to prove that it was made by a white man.
A white Australian.
Craftsman. Yeah.
Fabulous racist policy.
Yes.
Show me the front of that drawer again and the curve in it. The thickness of that.
So that would have originally come from a piece of timber, at least that thick,
Wow.
to get your bow. Because you can see as the grain moves, it hasn't been steamed. Like the early 1900s, they used to steam a lot of the timber, but that's
right.
from a solid piece of timber. Because in those days, there was so much silky oak around.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't
Whereas
it?
you had the generation before, everything had to be English or American oak. There just wasn't enough of it around. So they put a modern finish over it.
Yes, so this was restored and it is Queensland Maple, and the reason I know it's Queensland Maple is because I have got the original brochures about it. I've got the price list, I've got the actual picture.
So what year?
1959, and that was the year this beautiful woman got married. I have a wedding dress. Not only that, we have all of the receipts from Trittons in Brisbane. So we have got the beautiful beautiful Duchess. I've got the mirror sitting over there. I've got the large chest of drawers, and I have got one bedside drawer.
It's a very modern setting even for the 50s.
It is incredibly modern. You can see the legs are flared with that, like, starting to get that atomic style, but they've still gone and done the carving to make it a bit more
Traditional.
Yeah.
Would have been at least only 2.
Okay, so we can see there's one piece there, and then the crack.
So I'd say it's a rainforest cedar that's spent probably a lot of time in a drier climate, and then once it's moved to the coast, the timbers tried to expand with the humidity and not had anywhere to go because the joins are too tight, and so it's just cracked.
Yeah, and it did spend quite a few years in a garage under the house too.
Mm.
But I just love the size of this, and to think someone made that for a 21st gift. And he had it his whole life.
But see, a lot of people take, antiques.
I grew up in a 1930s Californian bungalow in Melbourne, Victoria. And when my parents bought the house in about 1971, it still had all the original furniture in it, because the old ladies had gone into a home and obviously didn't need anything and had no family. So that's what I grew up with. My father, in his 70s wisdom, painted everything Mission Brown, but then in the 80s, he decided he would like to strip it all back and start again. So he did a French polishing course and then taught me all that as well. And I did help him strip back a hall stand, which I now have at my house, which I love. So Blackwood furniture is what I grew up with, and I know the grain, so I love seeing it come into the shop. It's pretty rare up here in Queensland. Unfortunately, this Blackwood table is not as good as it could be. So this is quite a sweet little table, Blackwood, but you can see the difference in colour between the top and the bottom. That dark colour is how it's developed over the years. So this is probably 1920s, 1930s, and it gets darker with age, with all the oils on your hands and in the timber itself. And then they've restored the top, maybe over restored. You can see it's still got some surface scratches, maybe a bit much polyurethane, and there's a few dots here where maybe nail polish or something has dripped. And you can see sort of dents there, which happens when you sand rather than strip a piece. Nick told me this was a little bit sad to see for him, because he spends hours sanding things back with metho and steel wool rather than using a sander. But I think it's still pretty nice. I love the grain.